I found this interesting TikTok of this woman saying that her husband is addicted to corn and wanted to talk about it.
My husband has a corn addiction, and I'm going to answer some questions about it. One of the questions was, does it affect your intimacy and how? Yes, I will say when we were first married, I was super confused, like why he didn't want to be intimate all the time. I was like, don't guys want to like do it all the time? And so that was really confusing to me, but I would say probably the hardest thing that I've experienced is there's just been times, like this was when he was in the thick of his addiction, that like I knew he'd be coming home, and so I would dress up in lingerie, and then like he'd come home and then he would just be like, oh cool, and then like play video games or something, and that would like literally shatter me. So I think that was like the hardest part.
Not gonna lie, that shit gave me pain, and I'm a guy, okay? We're gonna watch more of what she's saying, but I just wanted to get a clear point about this stuff. I've struggled with this as well, and I'll be 24 in a few months, in like 2.5 months. Trust me, I freaking had problems. For the first time when I actually had sex, I was thinking that I'm malfunctioning or something. I was thinking that, maybe am I actually, like, what's happening? Like, I was convinced that there was some problem with me, and there was, corn, and it ruins your whole perception of everything, and it's just gives you a horrible erectile dysfunction, like especially if you've been misusing it and doing it all the freaking time, and it like ruins your sex life. It just ruins your perception of what actual real sex is. I'm not gonna criticize this guy and every single one that watches corn, but as time passed, and I stopped experimenting, my sexual life actually got better. Like, imagine when you're in your late teens having sex and having problems, not being aroused enough, and not having this amazing attractive women, and just being it just destroys your soul, man. So I get it, I understand this girl, and holy shit, you'll hear everything that she says, and she stays and tries to help him, and god freaking damn, she is a real one.
And I mean, this is pretty, like, I don't know, this is maybe TMI, but I want to share it in case, like, I know there's other people going through a similar situation. And I posted another video just reminding everybody that just because your partner struggles with a corn addiction, it's not because of you. It's not because you're not enough. It's an unhealthy coping mechanism that they learned when they were young, at least my husband, and it is really hard to break from. But I mean, I have to remind myself every day that it has nothing to do with me. So, but then I also will say, like, someone asked what's helped the intimacy be better. The only thing that's helped is my husband being in actual recovery versus when I thought he was in recovery. It's like night and day. Like, the first couple of years of our marriage, like stuff would come out, and he would like be good for a month, and then he would slip up, and then he'd be like, wouldn't want to tell me. He'd be in denial and say, like, tell himself it's not going to happen again. So he didn't want to tell me, but that never worked out. So then it would go on for like a year, but this whole time I thought it was like clean. And so like the first couple of years of our marriage, he was basically just not clean. And so like the intimacy, it was like very one-sided, and I thought that was normal until like I started talking to like friends about like their intimacy life or whatever, and I was like, oh my gosh. But now that he's like been in recovery, it is like night and day. But like my heart breaks for like younger Maddie, like years ago, that thought like that I wasn't enough, and so that's why my husband didn't want to be intimate with me, and like I guess that's why I'm sharing this, because I don't want anybody else to feel that way. Addiction is a super tricky subject, and I'm still learning more about it, but I promise you, it has nothing to do with you. They are just fighting like their inner battles, and it is not about you. So if you need to talk, you can message me anytime, and I will message you whenever. That's my answer for the question. I wasn't supposed to cry. This is stupid. Okay.
So everything that she said, I get it. I understand her, and no, it's never your fault. It's almost never, 99% of the time. I'm saying this as a man. It's not the woman's fault. It's not. The problem came way before the women came. Okay, like these types of problems come way before the woman actually comes, like way before the long-term serious relationship comes. I was born in the early 2000s. I had freaking access to anything I wanted. It was crazy. The first time I was actually exposed to this stuff was when I was 11. And I'll just end the sentence over there. But listen, I don't want to make fun of this situation, even though you can come up with a lot of freaking jokes. But if this actually happens, like if your husband or wife, your wife even, if they didn't have a corn addiction and suddenly in the middle of your relationship, they suddenly come out and they have a corn addiction, it's most likely your fault. But in most cases, 99% of the time, and in this woman's case, it's not her fault, okay? And there's a lot of factors that influence all this stuff and why all this stuff happens. First thing that comes to mind is we got the internet in the 90s, so all of our parents and grandparents and, you know, everyone else before that, they never actually had, you know, social media. They never actually had, you know, corn websites, millions of freaking videos uploaded every single day for them to just, you know, choose the best one, I guess. So the world wasn't as sexualized. At least that's what I think. None of us lived throughout the 1800s, for example, but we can only guess. With them having no internet, having no social media, no corn websites to, you know, pick and choose the best of the litter. With that, sex was way more seen as something pure and something only done with this person, and you don't do it for fun. Plus the medicine when it comes to, like, you know, the pill and, you know, not getting actually pregnant didn't exist back then. So the whole mentality was different. And now all of a sudden, we have electricity, we have internet, and we have social media, and little boys at the age of freaking 11, 12, or just in their early teens, they get freaking hooked on this stuff. They see it as something normal. I was sadly one of them, and it took time. I wasn't like crazy addicted to this stuff, but corn addiction works on every single addiction. It's something new and modern. It's not like alcohol addiction or, you know, cigarettes or drug addiction, which existed since forever, I guess. But as the years pass, you'll find more and more situations like this, just because the internet, but also social media. But let's say even if you're not, you know, addicted to this stuff as a guy or, you know, as a female as well, and you see all these crazy bodies, you know, hypersexualized bodies of men and women, but mostly women, obviously. Well then, what's gonna be your mentality when it comes to finding partners and sex and stuff? Like, all the fake bullshit you're seeing on social media is gonna, you know, direct you immediately to go to those freaking websites just to, like, just release that freaking tension. And now we get these kinds of relationships. And I gotta say, I was surprised. I was surprised of what she said. At the beginning of the video, I thought, well, when I watched it for the first time, I thought then maybe she is planning to divorce him or whatever, or maybe she's saying, well, he is my husband, but not for long. I know I shouldn't be making fun of this stuff, but I was actually surprised. Like, this is a rare woman. I mean, this would be a rare man as well if the roles were, you know, the other way around. One more factor that I think that contributes to all of this stuff. So when it comes to dating, there's way more options, and a lot of the times the top of the litter of men are most of the time chosen. And when it comes to women, well, basically most of them are chosen. They just want to choose the top men. I get it, understand it, I don't freaking care, okay? Look at my ugly freaking face, I don't give a fuck, I know what reality is, okay? But when you have all these lonely men that are, you know, sex deprived and relationship deprived, or even friendship deprived, because that's the freaking social media age that we're living in right now, and gamer age and all this stuff. How do you fulfill your sexual needs when it comes to all this stuff? When you're lonely, when you have no friends, when you haven't had any girlfriend, your self-esteem is like below freaking zero. That's what you get. That's what you get. And not everybody has the time and money to go and seek, you know, some professional mental help. I don't have the money. I still don't have the freaking money. I'm a poor-ass Balkan Slav. You see, I'm probably never gonna have the money to get expensive actual mental professional help. And probably most people here are, you know, actually shit at mental health, because it's Southeastern Europe. It's not as, you know, evolved, I should say, or as modernized as in the West. It's seen as So yeah, that's about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Have a nice day, keep safe, and don't give up on your relationship that easy.